Hey guys, so during the autumn I've been lucky enough to demo this EGO blower, and this is the LB5800E. So this is their mid-range blower, and I think when it comes to blowers, if you can afford and there's availability to go bigger, I would always recommend going bigger. But anyway, I've been able to use this. I wouldn't say it's necessarily great for the big autumn leaves. For that you really want a backpack blower or something like that, but actually for little clean-up jobs in and around sort of patios, if you've been fertilising, you just need to get the fertiliser off the patio back onto the lawn, or as you push the mower back into the van you might just want to blow off the drive. Actually this little blower is perfect for things like that. This is the first EGO battery blower that I've used. I've used a few others. There's a few things I really like about this. So if you could add the extra power of the big one, or the bigger one, I'm sure this actually would be a perfect blower. The things I really like about it is that actually the vent, which sucks the air in, is in the middle rather than at the end. That way when you're blowing, you don't sort of get your jumper sort of sucked in, which, not that it's actually going to get sucked in, but what it will do is it means that the airflow lessens and then you have to pull it off and stuff like that. Because it's right in the middle there, just not affected, so that's quite a good feature. Also what I quite like is there's this sort of like legs framework. You can actually hold that, so if you were blowing something higher, maybe you're on a ladder and you want to blow some guttering, or you've got a really high raised beds, you can, rather than having to sort of hold it like this or like this one-handedly, you know, there actually is something to sort of grab hold of. So they're two features I really like. With a 2.5 battery, they reckon you'll get about 100 minutes off this on low speed, but I don't really see that you're going to be blowing anything or be wanting to waste your time with that. On high speed, they say more 15 minutes, and then with turbo, I think it's about 9 minutes. So you know, the turbo you really only want to be using for seconds here and there, trying to move hard stuff. You've got a few attachments for the edges. I'll show you that in a minute. But the feature I do really like here is, so you've got your trigger, and normally you have your trigger and either a sort of a dial you pull down and that sort of locks it in place. On this one it's just a dial. Okay, so you pull it in, dial it up, and actually the trigger returns but the power remains. I quite like that feature of all the ones. It's just a little thing, doesn't really make a massive difference, but I quite like that. Let's see it in action. So, standard pipe. You can see this is the area, and it's about 2 decent clearing, I would say, and then it thins out for the last third. Now with the slightly smaller nozzle at the end, basically exactly the same, but what I did find is that it really got in deep into the grass and got all the little bits out. So bearing in mind that it's about the same, maybe use a little bit, you lose a little bit of the loose stuff at the end, but you gain the real hard to shift stuff down here. And then we have the wider end, which basically gives you a wider area, but literally half as much. So now what I'm going to do is I'm now going to blow with the blower again, but I'm going to use the turbo. Okay, so this is with the turbo. I would say on this one where it's 2 meters and then it's moved a meter of loose stuff, here you've got the full 3 meters. 1, 2, 3, put this here. So turbo, normal, smaller outlet, wide outlet.